I was raised in a Christian home, and I grew up going to a Christian church, Sunrise Christian Fellowship in Simi Valley. I had a very normal childhood, and nothing really went wrong in my childhood. I guess when I was in high school, my freshman year of high school is when a couple events happened that started changing the route that I was going on in life. My freshman year of high school, my best friend passed away in a car accident. And after that, I went through a very severe depression, and my grades started slipping. And I went from a 4.0 to a 1.6 grade point average. And I just started making poor decisions with my free time. I started hanging out with an older crowd of people, started going to parties where people were that were doing bad things. I was raped at one party by 3 individuals I didn't know. And then a couple years later, I was again raped by another individual. After that, had very low self-esteem, became careless in my actions. I became very promiscuous, and just started making even worse decisions. But I maintained a full-time job, and I still continued to go to school, and I transferred to CSUN and started studying communication studies towards my bachelor's degree. The fall semester of 2008, I was almost done with my bachelor's degree, and I met an older man who I had a very short relationship with, but it was one that impacted my life and changed my life immensely. This man introduced me to crack cocaine, and I tried it one time and became instantly addicted, and I fell in love. This was my newfound love. It was my rock. It was what I turned to. I couldn't wait till the next time that I could use it. All the while, I still maintained this relationship with God and a good face with my parents and my friends, and kind of lived a double life. I was out late with this guy, and when I came home, my sister and my mom and my dad were waiting for me in the living room and told me how much they loved me and how much they were concerned about me and that they were there to support me. They were very disappointed, but it didn't mean that everything was over. They wanted to help me rebuild my life. They wanted to help pick up the pieces and start fresh and start turning around where I was heading. So the next day, I went to rehab. In the meantime, they found out a lot of information about him, that he was an ex-gang member. He was a drug dealer. He had a family, an ex-wife, and 2 children, and he wasn't allowed to see those kids because of restraining orders. I was so broken and so far from where I wanted to be and who I wanted to be. And I would cry and pray out loud at night to God and ask Him for forgiveness and tell Him how sorry I was. I know that I was a disappointment to my family, and I was a disappointment to myself. And I knew that I had disappointed Him, and I didn't want to continue down what I was doing. At that point, I felt like I had nothing. I felt like I was the lowest of lows, but I couldn't see myself getting out of it. I felt like it was only going to get worse, and that I didn't have anything to live for. I felt like I felt useless. I felt used and abused and worthless, and I felt like I didn't deserve better than what I had. About a week later, I started feeling symptoms, or started feeling weird. My body wasn't right, wasn't normal. And I requested that the rehab facility purchase a home pregnancy test for me, and they did. And I took it, and it came back positive. I had a lot of love, a lot of support, a lot of reassurance from people, but other people were telling me, you know, the easiest thing, the best thing that you could do right now is just to get rid of it. When I got out of rehab, I went to a gynecologist that was extremely cold and took an ultrasound picture, printed it out, ripped it off the machine, kind of threw it at me and said, "Here you go, it doesn't look like much, but there's your kid."
Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him belong, they are weak, but he is strong. Yes, Jesus loves me, the Bible tells me so.
So I kind of left that doctor's appointment hopeless and with no really answer of where I was going to go. Was I going to put this baby up for adoption, or could I pull it off with my family? My brother told me to visit the CPC, which I knew about through church and through the community. I didn't know that it was an option for me to go to get an ultrasound, to get counseling, to get help, and I didn't know all of the help that they had offered. So I went in and I sat down for counseling and kind of felt better already once I just started talking to somebody, once they told me all that they had to offer, all the support that they would help with, whatever the future held. If I didn't have a place to live, they would help me with that. If I needed help medically or financially, it would all be taken care of. Then I went in for the ultrasound, and it was like I walked out of that place a new woman, a new mindset. I walked out of the CPC feeling like a brand new woman with a brand new outlook on life, an outlook on the situation. It was really the first ounce of hope that I had. I saw my baby's heartbeat, and I saw her moving around and laughed with the ultrasound technician, and really just found a whole new family with them, and somebody else to lean on for support and love. So I would like to personally thank everybody in this room and everybody who's been involved with the CPC in the past, currently, or in the future, for what you've done for my life, for the hope that you gave me, because I couldn't imagine where I would be if I didn't walk out that day with the hope that I had, the encouragement that I had for my future and for the future of my daughter and her life. And to where we've come today, we wouldn't be if it weren't for that. So thank you.
Thank you, CPC.